Now it's started.
Hello everyone, Carol speaking. This is to do with harm that's been done to us by one of the big banks, and that bank is the NAB Bank. We're a customer of theirs for decades. In 1999, I went to a Sunshine Coast branch to pay off a Flexi mortgage loan, the first one we'd ever had, which was attached to our cheque account. We were waiting on money from the sale of a third property in a small southwest Queensland town. While we were waiting for that money to come through, the bank gave us a Flexi mortgage attached to our cheque account. I went to the bank in December 1999 and asked to pay off that Flexi mortgage. The balance was around $2,000. I had the cash in my handbag. I asked the teller, the female teller, when I went in, I told her I was there to pay off my mortgage and own my property. I was asked to wait. Eventually I got in to see the manager or mortgage manager. I was in his office for at least 1.5 hours. I was in the bank totally for around 2 hours. For that 1.5 hours, he never just tried to persuade me not to leave the bank and not to pay off my mortgage. He flatly refused. For 1.5 hours, I told him nothing different but that I wanted to know the payout figure. I wanted to know how to own my property, and I didn't want to leave until that had been done. When I walked out of his office, I went to the teller, and the other female teller was also there. They both listened to me when I said, "Who else can I see? I want to pay off my home now, my property, and own it now." They said, "No, there's no one else, only him," and nodded towards the office that I'd left. I left, went home, no one was there. Husband was away for 2 days doing a job in Pyalba. I phoned him, upset, told him what had happened. When he returned the second day after that, he was busy, had lots to do. We didn't get back to the bank. Time went on, and we no longer had that cash to pay off our property. The Flexi mortgage line of credit gradually rose to $67,000. Everything we spent, we were on a disability pension, part pension, and getting a bit of casual work. In 2009, we went to the NAB Bank. We spoke with a fairly high up type mortgage manager. We told him we wanted, with another couple, to buy a property in Taunton, which was originally $340,000, was reduced to $320,000 on the day we went to look at it. We made an offer of $280,000, which would have meant $140,000 for each couple. The offer was accepted. We paid a deposit of $1,000 as an initial deposit. We spoke with this banker, and we told him there's no way we ever wanted our Flexi mortgage line of credit to be increased. We wanted a normal mortgage for this property, which had a 3-bedroom home and a granny flat. Now he would have known, the same as anybody else with common sense would know, that this was the perfect solution for us. We would be living in that granny flat, renting our property that we had the Flexi mortgage on. But no, he tricked us, we were tricked. The other couple didn't get their loan. Debts for the other couple were paid. We couldn't pay them. We were $67,000 into a $70,000 limit. So we couldn't pay them. Somehow they got paid, which meant we were then in debt $100,000. I didn't know until I went on the internet that the Flexi mortgage line of credit limit had been raised to $210,000. So we had no way, we had to stay in this property with a already over $100,000 debt, the debt we had plus the other couple's debts. It's just unimaginable that this could happen. Anyway, I've got to try and make this a summary, and I can go into more detail about things in other videos. So that was completely wrecked. Just after that, we went interstate to get some work where a couple of our sons were living. My husband got a bit of part-time work as a subcontractor. Then he didn't get work for months. He was also my carer because we were still on disability, but just getting part pension. The bank by that stage was putting as much as $1,250 a month interest into our bank account. We were paying $360 a week rent for the property we were living in. So with their interest at the huge rate, compounding constantly, every single thing that we've spent in all those years, we've paid interest to the bank. Whereas none of it should have happened because I wanted to pay it off when it was $2,000 and I was flatly refused. 2014 we received an inheritance. We put 3 different amounts in. One of them was $180,000 cash transferred from another bank into our cheque transaction account, to which the Flexi mortgage line of credit had been added. So as their literature, their website and all their literature and all their mortgage managers and all their people they speak to on the info line tell everyone that has a Flexi mortgage, you cannot have it in the first place unless it's attached to an existing account. If you don't have that account with the NAB, they'll open one for you, then attach the Flexi mortgage line of credit. While you have this line of credit, you never have to make a payment as long as you're under the limit. So for 17 years, we'd never made a payment. When the banker in Melbourne, on the day we accepted an ombudsman's decision against the bank, removed $140,000 out of our cheque account, that was removed by stealth, and that was illegal. And two clauses in the determination, 2 determinations, 2 penalties against the bank. One, they had to return some of the interest on that extra $140,000 they'd raised the limit by, and the other was that they could no longer receive interest on the $140,000 that had been sitting in the bank for 14 months to keep the interest down. I'd checked the highest interest I could get in term deposits and everything, and it was around 1.19%, and we were paying, from about 10.71% and then down over the years and whatever. But it just crippled us. Before 1999, we'd bought and sold 12 properties. After 1999, we've been in huge debt to the NAB bank and not able to get out from under them. That's part of this. That's part of it. So I'll have to just give you a quick look around here. This is some of the. We have everything. Our computers have been hacked into. We've had malware. We have everything in black and white. This is the terms and conditions. The horrendous terms and conditions that the NAB had. That's the 2003 copy. There was a 2008 copy, and we also have a 1994 copy. I wrote on here the deplorable things that were in this terms and conditions, and sent it to a government department, sent it to Foss ASIC in October. And it's only a few months ago it came up on TV that ASIC was now getting the big banks together to make